The biggest mistake I see business owners making is avoiding gathering attention. Most of businesses nowadays are run on social media. Even local businesses have a lot of softwares and have a lot of their production or a lot of their service making or a lot of their team management on digital softwares, on digital networks. Businesses are completely digital businesses or hybrid digital businesses. And as you might have possibly seen, this world functions with attention. Influencers making a ton of money, that's because they gather attention. Models and mostly female influencers getting paid a lot to do UGC ads, UGC content, or just sponsorships with brands, that's because they can gather attention and they have the ability to get those eyeballs, to get people watching, to get people that the business is there able to convert for money as customers. So today's world is just based on attention, but gathering attention is not fun and is not easy most of the times. But I'm trying to position myself as someone people can trust because of how much value he gives on content and the audience he's building. So that's why I'm going all in on content and I'm trying to record as much content as possible. But making content mostly is not fun. I have to adjust lighting, I have to adjust background. Editing is not easy. Creating thumbnails is not easy. Getting ideas for videos is not easy. Avoiding getting nervous when talking to the camera is not easy. Talking to a camera is not fun. It's not like you're talking to someone. Talking to you directly instead of talking to a group of people is not easy either, because I don't know, but we're more used to saying things like you guys instead of you. So making content is not easy. It's not fun most of the times. A lot of business owners that have to make content procrastinated a lot and maybe just leave it until the end of the day, and at that time they're just tired and they don't want to make it anymore. But in today's world, everything works with attention. And I want to focus on where my field of work is, which is ads. Because there are two ways to gather attention. You can do it via content, like I'm doing, or you can do it via ads, like other business owners do. It depends mostly on the type of ICP you have. ICP stands for Ideal Customer Persona. If you have ICPs that are high level, like the people I'm trying to target with my videos, that are business owners that believe in God and His calling and follow that calling and have a long-term vision and actually want to create a lasting impact instead of just making some short riches and that's it. Well, those type of people, it's very hard to find them with ads. It's way easier to do it with content. And in doing this type of B2B, it's way easier to find those people with content. If you're doing something more B2C, then of course the best way to gather attention, in my opinion, is ads. But that's a thing I see most business owners just avoiding, which is gathering attention. You need to be able to generate eyeballs, then liquefy those eyeballs, so turn those eyeballs into money, and then just maintain those eyeballs with your product or service. So just keep them recurrent if it's a product, client retention, which is with services. And if you want your business to make the money you want it to make, you need to be able to gather a ton of attention. So most mistakes business owners make is either not doing the content they're supposed to do because sometimes it isn't fun, or not spending as much as they should be on ads, or not testing as much as they should be, or being too secure with ads instead of testing new funnels, testing new hooks, testing new creative concepts, doing UGC, doing AI made ads, doing AI UGC videos. And that's their biggest mistake, and that's why your business is not likely making the money you want it to make, because you're not gathering enough attention. And that's why influencers charge so much and they make so much, and that's why agencies have the fees they have if the agency is good, because they're able to gather attention. And that's the most important thing in today's world. You have a lot of information available about anything If you want to learn about rocket science, you have a ton of free information available on the internet. If you want to learn about business, a ton of free information on the internet, some good, some BS, but a lot of information available. But what now really counts is gaining attention. And now I repeat it again. There's a saying which is repetition is persuasive, if I'm not mistaken. And repetition is persuasive. So your business is not likely making the money that you want to make because you're not gathering enough attention. And you have to get the process right. Some business owners focus so much on liquefying attention instead of gathering that attention. So they avoid gathering attention. They avoid testing more ads or making more content, and they focus more on their sales pitch, on their sales presentation, training their sales team, when they're not gathering enough attention. If you would gather enough attention, you wouldn't have to play with so much sales tricks, because you have tons of people trying to get on a call with you, for example, if you're selling something like a service. So get your priorities straight. Focus on gathering that attention. Of course, another day we'll talk about just client retention and managing your clients as well as you should. But today, let's just focus on gathering that attention. Stop procrastinating it. Stop leaving it for later. Stop putting other things which are more important first. So stop procrastinating it. You know what you should do. I always talk about getting your priorities straight, and this is definitely a priority. And also a good thing with, for example, ads, is that ads will show you leaks in your funnel. So let's say you're running ads, and first of all, your CTR is low. So maybe your creative isn't the one it should be, so you fix it. Then another metric is low. Maybe it's the hook. Now you got those two right. Now the ad in of itself is good. Then the landing page conversion is low. So the landing page has a mistake, and you would not spot that mistake if it weren't for ads. You're seeing that because of the volume you're having with ads, you have more accuracy with your sales numbers, so your conversion rate on sales calls. And then you might see there's a problem in your sales pitch, for example, or there's a problem in the ICP, or there's a problem, or there's a problem in the funnel in of itself. So ads will show leaks inside your funnel, and that's another thing. And those are another mistakes you would have never solved if it weren't for generating attention. Because the best way to spot mistakes is on mass, on volume. And if you're just having 10 people entering your funnel, then you don't have enough info to make improvements. But if you're having 10,000 people a day entering your funnel, you will know what doesn't work. And that ties to something I always talk about also, which is taking risks, which is, for example, in this case, making ads, and iterating on mistakes fastly. So you took a risk, it was wrong at first, but then you made it right, you made the right ad, and then you spotted a leak in your funnel. You iterate fast in your funnel, make a change, and improve it. And that's how you can build $1 million funnels. Take a risk, iterating fast, keeping it pertinent to your ICP, and of course, generating attention and generating enough volume for the funnel to be tested. And then you can start testing different funnels. And this is the magic of generating attention. You can play with a lot of things. You now have some liberty you didn't have before, because now you have the volume for testing. And that's another thing. If you're doing testing without enough volume, then you're completely on the wrong. You cannot test something without enough volume, because you don't know if it works or if it doesn't work until enough people have gone through the funnel, for example, or have seen the ad. That's another thing I want to touch on. Some people just kill ads very fast, and they don't give them enough time for them to get the ad spent. You need to let your ad spend at least 2 or 3 times your ideal cost per result, so you know they don't work. You're not giving it enough time. You're not giving Facebook enough time and enough money for it to show the ad to the pertinent amount of people. So be patient and let volume take over. Be patient, let volume take over. Be patient when testing, but when it's time to iterate, fast action. You spot a mistake, you act fast, you solve it fast. That's what the game is about. So let's summarize all of this quickly. If you want to have a business that really scales, you need to be able to gather attention. That can be done through content, ideally if you're in B2B, and if you're in B2C, more likely ads, but they're ads that work really well for B2B. I say it firsthand because I've worked with some clients that work in the B2B space and they got amazing results. And there are some people which can make a B2C content creation and still have amazing results. Always keep your funnels pertinent to your ICPs, take risk, iterate. If you do ads, you likely spot mistakes you wouldn't spot them in other situations. Volume is the best way to test and to know what's right and what's wrong and what you can improve. And volume testing and fast iteration is how you build $1 million funnels. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I want to add a last note here. If you are a believer business owner that has a long-term vision and wants to generate a positive impact in the world and for your business and for your family, I have an agency that's specifically tailored for you and for your business. We create meta ads, we create that attention, and we also help you optimize your funnels. So if you're interested in that, then just message me on my Instagram, the word funnel, and a member in my team will get in contact with you. Apart from that, that's everything for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.